Are we live?
Here we go. Hello, Karate 360 Nation. This episode of the Karate 360 podcast is brought to you by K-Fit.
Tell me about it.
K-Fit Conditioning, the K-Fit program. What we do is we do training, educating, and inspiring. It's a personal training and combat training program that I put together. We do online training, we do one-on-one training, we do distance training, we do fitness testing. So all this fitness testing stuff that we've put together, as well as all the people that we've trained already, are all going under this one K-Fit banner. So that's just basically what it is. Everything that I'm doing, everything that we're doing, going under K-Fit as the K-Fit Conditioning. It just came available. We just got the logo locked down, and it'll officially launch on April 1st, where you will see nonstop stuff in social media from K-Fit. So just be prepared for that. But this episode is brought to you by K-Fit. So for more information, you can actually follow us on Facebook at K-Fit Conditioning by Kalen Anglos, or you can just go to my own personal page, Kalen Anglos, and find it on there. But yeah, any information you need, we're going to have blogs that are going to go up, articles are going to go up, a podcast is coming your way.
No way.
More podcasting.
I think you've done podcasts before.
Me too, and just getting warmed up.
Right on.
We're on what, episode 26 right now.
Holy moly.
Of the Karate 360 podcast, so just flying away. So more of that coming specifically from me. And if you haven't seen it yet, also Richard Mosdell, the gentleman sitting across the table from me, has been doing some vlogs, some video blogs, some daily video blogs. So last week we talked about you doing 365 days of video blogs, and you have begun.
That's right. So let's get into the show.
Let's start the show.
Karate 360, let's start the show. You will jump by and I will sweep low. From local to global, it's a thing that we love. Karate
San no Kumaru. Yes, here we are again on Facebook Live.
Right on, Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. Hello, everybody that's listening out there. And again, send us your questions now. And at the end of the show, we will answer them in our fan question segment.
Awesome. So, K-Fit.
K-Fit, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's just something that's, K-Fit was an old idea of mine, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, that is just now kind of coming to fruition. It's just come together, and I've had this idea for a while, and now I want to be able to offer my services, but also, my knowledge and what I know. I want to be able to teach people what I know. I mean, I've told you before, I've told many people before, I'm an open book when it comes to what I know, and I think the more people that know how to properly train for something or how to do a proper injury prevention program or lose weight or whatever it is you're trying to do, there is a proper way to do it, and I want to help people learn how to do it or know how to do it.
Sweet. Well, you're a practitioner. You're someone who wants to get out there every single day.
For sure.
Work with whatever people's goals are.
Absolutely. Like I've spent the last 7 years reading books, and I'm done reading books.
So you want to get in the field.
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And the whole fitness testing thing that we've been doing has been huge too. That's all going to be under the K-Fit banner. So, yeah, check it out, K-Fit Conditioning.
That's awesome. Sponsored by Kenzan Sports Karate.
Sponsored by Kenzan Sports Karate and the Karate 360 podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what a week this has been for us in the dojo, our lovely Kenzan Sports Karate dojo that you see in behind us. And hopefully this video that you guys are watching now, we look a little bit better than last time. We had some, not complaints, but we had people say that we were a little grainy. And we also had some people say that our voice wasn't matched up with the video that you guys are seeing right now on Facebook Live. So we went out, we spent millions of dollars on
There's a massive crew on the other side of that camera.
Massive crew. You just can't see them. And we got a industrial camera. So hopefully we look better. Hopefully we sound better in terms of our, how we line up with the video and the audio. But here we go again with another Facebook Live.
We're raw. This is what real life is like.
This is what it's like.
No filters.
Take
no
us
makeup.
as we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't get much better. So there it is.
Right on.
Yeah.
Man. So one of the things I like about the idea of K-Fit, basically, this is personal training with you. And I love how you had like these 4 categories before of, improving your performance, injury prevention.
Yeah.
Just recovery.
Yeah, recovery.
And there was one other one. Maybe it could just be straight weight loss.
Sure, you just like becoming healthy and exercising.
Yeah, becoming healthy and exercise. I really like these sort of 4 angles because it's easy for people to kind of fit into it. Now it could just be my man's mind who needs
Sure.
categories, but I think that works really well, and
Yeah.
people can transition between them.
For sure. And one thing that's worked out really well too, and that I've kind of established over the past year or so, is the online training. I think it's kind of the way a lot of training is going to go, where people don't necessarily want to have to go to a trainer face to face and train them. They want to be able, maybe they can get to the gym every day by themselves. They just don't know what to do. So being able to be an online coach, an online trainer, I think is the way things are kind of going.
Let's just be honest with you. I mean, honest here. Doing karate alone, like doing just traditional classical karate, is not going to make you the most fit or healthy person in the world.
That's very true.
You have to. I remember one of my great friends, and one of my other friends said, "Hey, how can I get my karate better?" And they said, "Lose 30 pounds."
Yeah.
And he had to do that all outside of the dojo because of the way they trained in their club, not our club. We would make you fit.
That's
But
right.
the way we train in their club was a little bit more like, Kihon, Kata, Kumite.
Sure.
Or maybe not even any Kumite. So knowing how to train for fitness, whether it's for performance or just for being in the club, And then tonight, even here, guys are staying after for 30 minutes and doing their plyometrics and
sure.
their weightlifting. And
Yeah. I think once you kind of set the standard or set the atmosphere that this is what we expect and this is what we're going to do, people just buy into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So we'll see more K-Fit April 1st.
April 1st is when the official K-Fit launch is, but there'll be lots of stuff leading up to that. But yeah, April 1st will be when
Right on.
the website's going. Well, the website is already up, KalenAnglos.com, plug. But when the Facebook website goes. So yeah, keep an eye on that and
Sweet.
all the information that comes from there. And the K-Fit show as well, the podcast show. So
Can't wait. Can't
pretty
be
exciting.
a listener. Maybe one day I can be a guest.
We'll see.
Oh, yikes. Gonna have to buy a book of 10 tickets here. And,
That's right.
Get in on
That's
it.
right. You'll have to talk to my agent.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It has been a really busy week. because
Totally.
You've been here doing a full week of training and
Yeah.
teaching at the club.
Yeah.
You've seen the whole gamut of things going on. And what's your impression now? You've seen a full week go through.
I think for us too, and just interacting with the members here in our dojo, we changed the schedule a little bit. We added a sports karate program, and I think the feedback we're getting from that is really, really good. Like people like to be able, people like to be able to do just sport karate. Maybe they just want to compete. We should be able to offer them that. I think that's the same as any dojo. If you have people that want to go for their belt test, that's great. They can train for that. But some people are really keen on just competing. I want to go to the nationals. I want to go to the international tournaments, the U.S. Open, the Worlds, maybe the Olympics one day.
Yes.
So you need to have that stream, and this is something we've talked about, where you can do just sport karate. Maybe you just want to do tournament kata, or you just want to do kumite.
Yeah.
And now we've been offering that, 3 times a week, and the classes have just gotten bigger and bigger, and people are just getting excited.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that's been awesome, having the people in there and also teaching the class and coaching it, and that's been a lot of fun for sure. As well as we've thrown in a couple daytime classes. That's
Yes.
something that I know a lot of clubs haven't done before, or at least not where I've come from, where we're offering noon-hour classes. And same thing, each week it's been growing and growing. Still not too big.
Well,
But
but we haven't lost anybody.
exactly, I haven't lost anybody.
Yeah.
And even in the younger kids, in the minis that we teach and the after-school program, it seems like everybody likes the change of time and the schedule change and that kind of thing.
Once
So-
they figure out what it means.
Totally. And, I'm still working. Remember tonight I almost finished. I was sitting the minis down at, 5:45, and you said, Kalen Sensei, so you're like, it ends at 6. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay, 15
I was
more
like,
minutes.
wow, those kids are amazing. They get to go to the game so early.
Yeah. So it's a little getting used to it, just the same as any change.
Oh,
But
for sure.
it's been good for sure.
What I liked yesterday was a parent was calling who was really interested in the club, and normally I have to say, I will, I'm teaching a class right now. I'll call you back later. I'll send you an email. Give me your email address. I'm like, oh, Kalen, he's teaching the class.
Yeah.
Like, I can get in on this talk and let
Totally.
this person know what's going on. What's interesting is they had, by accident, they've been looking for us, but signed up with another club by accident. And they'd said, hey, you're the club that has the after-school program. And I guess the other club said, yeah, that's us.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it.
We'll
whatever.
take it. Come and see us.
Yeah.
And they said they went there. Well, they went there. They're about to go there and realize, like, no, it's the wrong place.
It's
So
not
then
where
she
we
was
are.
talking to me like, I think I registered somewhere wrong in the wrong place. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, we don't want to steal people, but if you were actually looking for us and our after school program,
This is where we are.
this is where we are. We're the
Yeah.
only ones.
Yeah. Another thing I think too about the benefit of having 2 full-time karate instructors in one dojo is the interaction that you get to have with the parents. Because even just, you know, when you're
Totally.
teaching and I'm sitting on the desk or whatever, they come up to me and they ask, "Hey, what's this Canada Open thing? Can my kid do this?
Yes.
You know, what's the Steveston tournament thing all about? What's this all about?" So it's just that not only the interaction but the information that they get, and like we've talked about, giving them more value.
And it's better than a recreation center, because a recreation center, the instructor teaches, maybe they chat, they burst out,
Sure.
and the people who work at the registration desk, they're professional at what they do, but they don't know the programs intimately,
Yes.
nor do they stand up when someone walks in. We're kind of doing like the church minister thing at the door when they arrive and the door when they leave,
Totally.
but they like that
Yeah.
because they want to buy into the whole package.
For sure.
And we want to give them that really great value. Because, you know, we originally thought, you know, the owners of the club, well, maybe we'll just get a receptionist,
Mm.
you know, but that really doesn't make sense because they can't cover a class. They only come for a few hours a day. They wouldn't really know karate intimately.
Sure.
And I noticed that we really needed someone like you who we didn't need to replicate me or someone else. We needed someone who's an original person who brings it their own value, but at the same time can, you know, dive into any program and really just, you know, help them out.
For sure.
And it's great. I like, now what was I telling you? Oh, I know. That little boy yesterday who did the class.
Oh, the little mini there.
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
wearing the black shirt for the first time. And
Yeah.
he was just like really hesitant, like many.
Yeah.
But then he was jumping, he was sitting and watching. And so, you know, the first reaction is like, well, okay, go sit with your parents outside in the lobby and just watch. But then I just said, well, hey, when you can sit on the floor, and when you see us doing something amazing, like incredible, so cool that you want to jump in, just run in. Don't even
Yeah.
ask me. Just run in. And so he would run in and do something and then run back and sit down. And he's 5 years old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then he'd run in. And by the end of it, he was trying the kata. He was right beside me trying
Just
the
giving
kata.
her.
Just giving it. And then when he walked out, he ran up. I was standing at the door saying goodbye, and he ran up and gave me a massive hug,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm really like when kids give me a hug, I lift my hands in the air like, okay, thank you for the hug. You know, like I don't pick them up.
Sure.
I had that today when I taught in one of the elementary schools. It was, again, one of those experiences where you go in and these are new teachers and they look at you like, oh, is this going to be like wacky, crazy? He's a screaming person making my like grade ones do knuckle push-ups, whatever. But no, I brought the full Richard Sensei show.
Yeah.
Like to, you know, with the energy and the, hey, I think you guys can do better. Stand your toes on the line. Let's try again. Yay, let's jump. Let's do spinning, jumping punches and stuff like that. And at the end, after I did a cool down stretch and all that sort of stuff, and then I've been doing this thing lately, like, all right, like silent, quiet ninjas. You give me a high five and go see, and then line up for your teacher. And because I used to go like big high fives, like running high fives, where
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
slamming into each other. But the teachers like it when they're all calm.
Mm.
You pass them over the teacher and like little high fives. Anyway, like half of them gave me hugs on the way out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was awesome, you
Yeah.
know. So it's one of the things in life where, you know, you can feel really good about who you are and what you do and how you make a living. You know, I jump up, and I have never had once doing this, you know, being a full-time instructor, especially now and the way we've kind of figured out with this club, where I was like, I don't want to go in today.
Mm.
Like I think I was telling you yesterday, I burst up. I was working. I was doing stuff. I bombed out of the house around 2:00. I was like, man, something with my energy level today. I'm fine, but something. And then when I got back home, I realized I'd made this big breakfast and just left it on the table.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just left it there. So that became dinner. But,
Mm.
you know, because the family's away. So
No, I can't do that.
the family's away.
Family's away.
I know.
And Richard will play.
Shh. Ixnay on the play skate.
Well, this is our play.
That's
Let's
our
be
play.
honest. Friday
Exactly.
night.
It's
and
Friday night. We're here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an exciting Friday night because, well, we bring them in. We get everybody in and out. They can be gone by 8:15, 8:30. They still got a great night ahead of them. So,
Totally.
right? And someone left a poop emoji behind you. Did you
I
see
saw that. The poop emoji pencil or something. Pen. I was teasing some of the guys with that. I don't know where that came from, but
Yes.
I'm sure somebody will claim that.
So you live in a great life when people are having a good time and they're leaving poop emojis. And,
Absolutely, it doesn't get any better, really.
well, we had college students in who
Yeah,
they
that's
had
right,
to they had to put in so many hours of auditing a course, so
Yeah.
they came in to watch us, and actually they're pretty nice, leaving us gifts and
Totally.
stuff like that.
Signing up for your self-defense workshop.
I know. We're gonna do another self-defense workshop. Someone came up and said, "Are you guys gonna do exactly the same thing as last time?" I'm like, "Oh heck no! We're gonna do amazing, awesome stuff." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow!" So I think I was telling you, because remember last week you said it was one of the first times working here where you got to see the full range, like the 4-year-olds right up to high performance.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I love it because I remember being at the coaching college, and they were like, when you get the high performance coach at their day one level, you can instill a lot of day one stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's great, mom and dads who have to go out there and coach their sport, and then the kids move on. But when you can get the high performance coach or the chief instructor or whatever, the full time instructor to go to day one. And I think the analogy is like you go learn scuba diving. Do you want to learn from someone who's doing it once or twice a week, volunteer? And that's fine. Or do you want to learn from someone who's doing it 6 days a week for 10 hours a day and understands every situation?
For sure.
So both are acceptable. Both have their
Value.
the value in their
Sure.
place,
Yeah.
right? But it's just neat to have that type of stuff where you can just burst out and be happy, and I can talk to anyone. And I think you saw me do a phone call to a school that had never talked to me before. No problem. Say no to me. I'll just call you guys later. Because I really believe in what we are doing.
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, one of the things too is we talk always about, every day is different, every week is different, whatever. Well, literally when you're teaching karate from 4-year-olds to up to high performance in a day, it's like every hour is different.
Exactly.
It's totally different. The structure of the classes might be similar, it might be the same, but you have to scale it up and definitely present it differently to the 4-year-olds as you do the high performance people. So it's a skill for sure, but it's something that I think is required to be a good overall karate coach for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been this week. And then I started my daily video blogs, my new blogs.
Yes, yeah.
And it's been really interesting because they've had a lot of views.
Yeah.
I have no expectation for anything to pop out for 365 days. I'm just going to go long. And but even after the 4th one, I had some nice people contacting me about events that are coming up, and I should be thinking about going to visit them and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was kind of cool. And I remember talking to Norma Sensei. Shout out to Norma. I was like, oh, by the way, Norma Sensei, if you see these weird kind of like 2-3 minute videos of me online, the reason for that is what I'm noticing when we sell my book and I'm out there at an event, the content is great.
Sure.
Like if the content was bad, I would just pack it away, right? The content is great. The publisher is awesome. If I explain it to them, they get it. But otherwise, it's hard for people to buy it from a distance because they don't know who I am. Same thing when I was in Japan. They made me have a bilingual blog back in the 2000s. And so that even though I had a monthly bilingual column, by having a blog, then a lot of people could figure out who I was.
Totally. Yeah.
And there was, I was going back over the stats just the other day. So I was getting maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people viewing it in a week. But the depth, it wasn't so much the width, but it was the depth because it was a lot of karate leaders in Japan that were reading it. So it's going to be fun. I'm just going to do the vlog and have fun with it. I have kind of a different take on, I want to do kind of a high level, not like, here's how you do your roundhouse kick. Oh, that may be in it. But I want to document like what's happening in my day and the theory why I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good idea. And, one of the reasons why we are doing these Facebook Live videos and why, we're podcasting and now we're both on Snapchat and we're both kind of going is just getting you out there, right? Like people need to know that, yes, you're Richard Mosdell, I'm Kalen Anglass, karate instructors. This is what we do. This is what we believe. This is our philosophy. Because then it's easier for people to buy into you and what you're doing if they know what you're about. And that's just a good way to get it all out there.
Yeah, exactly. Access.
Totally.
Understanding you're not well, some of it might be wacky, but not all of it.
Sure. And for us, something that we've talked about too is we want to be able, especially for the members of our dojo, we want to be able to give them more value.
Exactly.
So, free value, not you pay more and we give you more. This is just extra stuff that we want to
What do
provide.
you mean free value? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they haven't found out about the payment plan
Oh,
yet.
yeah, exactly. No, you're right. I love the idea, investing in you, investing in more schedules, investing in more time.
For sure.
I'm not interested in having 9,000 students. I want to have, again, it's about depth, not width,
Totally.
right? And not just in terms of technique, although technique is important. It's in terms of what we're giving the club. And also to be a gateway. I want people to come into this dojo and be able to shoot out into the world and go to Japan or go to another city or go join the BC team or go do an officials course or coaching course, or that's all part of our story as being part of mainstream karate.
For sure.
I think it's a disservice if we don't promote what's going on outside.
For sure, I agree. And I think one of the things too that is really beneficial for kids coming in, or anybody, actually even adults, whatever level they're at, is something that we teach here, and I know a lot of karate clubs teach, is that when you come into the dojo, you leave everything that's outside of the dojo outside, and whatever's happening now, it's karate time. As soon as you bow in and you're in the dojo, it's karate time. And I think that's really good to just kind of almost reset your mindset, like maybe you haven't had the best day, maybe something went wrong, whatever. Coming into the dojo, just letting that all go, just training hard for an hour and a half, hour, whatever it is, and then getting on with your day. And like you leave and it's like, oh man, I just feel so much better. I just got, an hour and a half of good training. My mind is clear, and away you go. And
That's right.
That's really something that karate offers.
Totally. I mean, well, the average person has to do what? 3-4 times a week, get their heart rate up for 30-40 minutes, and just that.
Yeah.
If we can offer that in a structured way.
Totally.
Yeah, and bring fudge.
Big fudge, yes, chocolate cake, and all those good things that come with that. Yeah.
Actually, if someone actually brought something, what should they bring for you? Like, what
for me?
Yeah, because like in Japan, when people bring stuff, they just go take a gift and they just pass it along. Like I would get stuff, and I would pass it on to the karate team, and they would just it would disappear and they'd devour it. But like for you, someone's coming in here, what would be the thing? Like, oh man, I can't believe they brought me that because I love that.
Sure. I'm a sucker for chocolate. I don't know.
Chocolate, okay.
I try not to eat too much of it. Coffee is a good way to my heart, especially if it's in the day.
Yes,
it's in the daytime. Caffeine.
Actually, I got a coffee yesterday when we got your desk. We had to get Kalen a desk.
You had to get me a desk. I said, I'm not working anymore unless you give me a desk.
Get me a desk. God damn it, I can't sit on the floor anymore. Yeah, and so Ian from the club came and brought me a coffee. Yeah. I was going to buy him a coffee for bringing his truck and helping me move, but he brought me a coffee. Like, wow, this is a good deal.
Yeah, and especially when it's unexpected like that. Coffee, yes. Like, it's never a bad time for coffee.
Right.
Well, it's not true, I guess.
Starbucks, Pike Place, 2 cream, 2 sugar. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's about the same as me. Pike, 2 cream, 2 sugar. There you go. No, so it's probably coffee for me. Coffee or chocolate, I would say. I mean, I'm a foodie in general, and I literally will eat anything.
I've seen it.
Oh,
it's true.
It's true. I don't care what it is. I'll eat it.
That's why buffet on the BC ferries was a wonderful thing, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a game changer for me, a life changer. I told you, I'm never going back to that regular.
I know, me too. I'm never going
buffet. Back. For those of you listeners that maybe aren't from the island or don't know exactly what a ferry is, we have to take the ferry over to the mainland, and I used to always get the standard white spot restaurant food. Ferry food, we called it. Greasy, bland, greasy, not even real.
Diner food.
And then diner food, totally. Yeah. And then you introduced me to the buffet.
Oh, yeah. Upstairs, Paley, $10 more.
Not even $10 more,
yes.
Whatever it is. And it's just game changer. Never going back.
It's a whole new world.
Totally. It's a whole new world.
Don't get me started. I know the bad version of that one.
Let's not go there.
Uncle Johnny.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, it's funny. We're going to a high-performance meeting this weekend. And we're planning okay, we got to be on the 7 o'clock ferry. If we come back on the 3, there's no buffet. So we come back on the 5.
Totally.
The meeting's lasting longer. We got to get more work done.
That's totally my life too. Coming back from tournaments and stuff, it's like, well, we could leave now and get the 3, and it gets us home early, but we don't get the buffet. So maybe we should just go for the 5.
Yes. So this call comes back to our theme that we're in it for the long haul.
That's right.
Yes.
Somehow it comes back. Yeah. Somehow it comes back. All you Facebook Live listeners that are listening in right now too, don't forget to send us your questions, anything karate related
right.
or not karate related. Ask us specific questions, whatever you want. At the end of the show, in our last segment, we will answer your questions. So go ahead and fire off some questions right now, and we will answer them for you.
Right on.
So why don't we get into right now a little bit of Karate Global News, because we haven't hit the Karate Global News for a little while, and there's a few things that came up. So without further ado, let's do Karate Global News. Okay, so the first Karate Global News that came up for us is there is now a Karate Hall of Fame.
Karate Hall of Fame.
A Karate Hall of Fame, and what do they call it? A Kaikan?
Kaikan.
Kaikan.
There's been a karate museum and a few little ones that personal people have done, but the Kaikan is, well, there's a lot of martial art arenas in Japan.
Sure.
But this is, Kaikan means, the hall.
The hall.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what it is. They said here, the imposing Hall of Fame.
Kaikan is like association and hall, depending on how they write the kanji. But I remember this is in Okinawa.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right, so Okinawa already has a couple big arenas, martial art arenas and stuff, but this is the Karate Hall of Fame, right? Specifically
Hall of
for
Fame.
karate.
The Okinawa Karate Kaikan?
Kaikan.
Kaikan.
Because you have like Budokan,
right.
Nippon Budokan.
That makes
right?
sense.
There's a lot of cans where they do lots of different, they'll have a lot of different martial arts competing, and they'll have sports, but this is the official Karate Kan.
Yeah, and this comes straight from their website. They said they aimed to preserve and develop karate's tradition while also celebrating the unique culture heritage of the sport.
This is interesting because the Kaikan there, if I get this right, in Japan you have the Japan Karate Federation, which is like the main styles in mainland Japan, and in Okinawa, while some of the clubs are part of it, they also have a little bit more of their own, like the original Okinawan associations and styles. And so there's a little bit of a separation.
Okay.
And my understanding is this Kaikan is promoting those associations.
Sure.
But there's still lots of interaction between the two. To go to the Japan Nationals, you still have to go through the JKF.
Right. No, that makes sense. Now, is this going to be like a Hall of Fame? Do you know if where they actually induct people into the Hall of Fame, like athletes and representatives and coaches?
I think you're right. And in Japanese, I remember reading about the plans for it. Because here it says, this is under the Okinawa. In the picture, it's got the picture for the association. So this is the Okinawan Karate. I think it's the old kanji for do. And this is the celebration of the opening of it. So this is for the Okinawan Karate Association. It's actually I remember looking at the design. It's a really beautiful place. And I can see here in the pictures they have Ryo Kyuna,
yes, that's
Arata
right.
Kinjo, and Takuya Uemura.
All came to do it. President Espinosa was there too as well.
Oh yeah, and there's my friend Toshihisa Nagura Sensei, who's a WKF General Secretary, who's a fantastic guy. And so is President Espinosa has been doing fantastic work for us too.
For sure.
Right? So
yeah.
no, it's great. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday who's going to Okinawa for Kabuto training and stuff. So maybe they're going to visit it. But I can just see, like, from the picture, you can see that they put a green sheet down and have all the seats of the people. That's probably going to be like an 8-ring arena, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And then the stages where they would have like the head table. Yep. So I can look up the actual diagram in Japanese and find that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's great. The Okinawan associations trying to preserve their center of knowledge for karate.
No, I think it's great. I mean, most major sports have a Hall of Fame, so now karate's got a Hall of Fame in none other than Okinawa. Right?
And I'm not sure. Like it's great. It's on the WKF website, and if those guys were there, because they might want to include like everybody in the karate world in this
Right.
Hall of Fame, or is it going to be Okinawa specific? But I think if the WKF is there promoting it, they're going to add stuff. And it's this is one of the things, and as you know, I like to talk about problems/challenges of karate.
Sure.
I think every major style should have some sort of headquarters.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because you have a place that you can go to, and it's something that like in our style in the Wadokai, they should, I've been asking them and promoting with them and pushing them. They should create a headquarters, because people like to go to Okinawa and they like to go back to the roots and be part of the fantasy and all that sort of stuff. And that's awesome. And they need that for the other styles to have like a location. Look at us. We have a huge location. We have a place for people that that they can come to and call home, right? It can be like a destination. So,
and I think one of the other things with this hall, Kaikan. I'll get it. With the Kaikan too, is that they also want to use it. So when you're in Okinawa, you can go and visit the Kaikan, the hall, and you can see different monuments of the traditional karate style and exactly of karate itself. So it's kind of cool that I went to when Nationals was in Toronto, I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
The famous Hockey Hall of Fame, which
ice hockey, by the way, for our international listeners.
Ice hockey, yeah, which we've already established you might not know much about.
I know guys are on skates.
That's right. So that's a start. But I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and it was really cool being able to see all the old jerseys.
By the way, I have actually held the Stanley Cup.
Well, you probably haven't held the real Stanley
Cup. Yeah, it was a real Stanley Cup when I worked for Labatt's.
Really?
Yeah, the replica is in the museum.
That's right.
And then they have a guy carry it around, and Labatt's was sponsoring it.
Did you drop it?
No, because in terms of holding it, it was like I got to hold it right above the table.
Okay.
So I got to hold it next to me. I have a picture.
Did you? Obviously you knew what it was.
Yes, I knew it was, and I wasn't allowed to keep it to turn it into the Vancouver Karate Cup. So.
Damn, eh? So I think it'll be cool for people to go to Okinawa and go to this Hall of Fame and just look at all the monuments and everything of karate. It'll be great.
I found the original, and I can put this. We can put this link on. Maybe I'll grab it here. I found the original PDF that has in Japanese has the pictures of it. So I just loaded it in there, so you can load it up. But see, remember I just said that picture of the hall.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you can throw let's throw the links into the Facebook page so people can read it now. But see, that's where they're having that ceremony in that picture, and then that's where they're going to have the competition. And even you can see it from the seat. So right now it looks like they've got four judo rings. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Well, next year I think you and I should head over to Japan, and then we'll zip down to Okinawa and do that trip. I think it'd be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. Another piece of karate global news that we wanted to throw out there is WKF now has a official online TV streaming service.
Yeah, did they start that just after Worlds?
Just after Worlds. I think the Premier League might have been the previous Premier League in Paris might have been the first time that they launched it. Okay. I think that was more like just a beta testing or whatever. But now they officially have the karateworld.tv where you can go and you can watch, like, for example, in the upcoming K1 in Rotterdam, you can, for whatever price it is, you can go to the karateworld.tv and you can watch the medal rounds. So again, it's just the medal rounds, similar to how the World Karate Championships did it back in December. You can watch the medal rounds for each category. So that's kind of cool that now karate has this online streaming service, similar again to as many of the sports that are out there right now. So just bringing the opportunity to bring more eyes to karate and really globalizing it. So
I'm gonna segue this back to what we were just talking about, the Okinawa Karate Kaikan, because I found an English description here that I just shared it with you, and it says here 3.8 hectare site will contain 3 main buildings: a karate dojo, martial arts dojo, and I think that's gonna be the competition room, and a karate archives, tentative name, and a special dojo built with a red tiled roof that symbolizes Okinawan tradition. The center will also boast a training room, seminar room, dining space, karate equipment. Every year, the Okinawan Karate Kaikan will hold the traditional Okinawan Karate Kobudo International Seminar, and we look forward to welcoming visitors from around the world. And maybe the WKF should, it says March 4th, 2014 is when the doors will open, so that's probably with the thing that you were leading, in Tomigusuki City, right near, connected to the ruins of the Tomigusuki Castle. Very interesting. Oh, and then it says, in addition, it's conveniently located near the Budokan, which is the main prefecture martial art hall.
Yep.
And what's interesting is the Nippon Budokan in Tokyo is also located right beside the ruins of the original Edo Castle.
Okay.
Within easy walking distance.
Everything's right there.
Yeah, it's the only place where they have The only place where there's like big open spaces in big cities is where there used to be like samurai castles and stuff. So maybe the WKF can take their TV thing to this. Well, probably it's going to be on their events. Anyway, I like the idea of more media, more access, more things to see, more places to put eyeballs on.
Totally, yeah.
Streaming video for the Nationals. Do you know anybody who watched Canadian Nationals on streaming video?
I don't think so, because they were charging, I think, $20 a day or something like that, or $50 for the entire weekend.
I think it was 10 a day or 20 for the weekend.
Okay, maybe that could be it. But no, I don't think anybody I know actually watched the national championships, because of course now you can get it not streamed, but you can also get an archive video as well. But
Yes.
of course that's not the same as watching it live.
Let me ask you a question. Last year's provincials, did you know anybody? Because it was free and the Open was free. Do you know people that watched it?
I think there was a couple people from here possibly that watched it, but other than that, I don't think so.
So this is just anecdotal, but I do know that I knew the guys that did the streaming, and they said that when the pay-per-view goes onto most amateur events, the viewership drops 90%
Because of the price?
because of the price. Even though like $20 to see
It's nothing.
60 hours of footage or
Totally.
something, like 6 or 5 rings at 10 hours a day of footage for 3 days.
It was the whole. It wasn't even just the medal rounds.
Yeah. Well, I didn't look at it because I was there.
Yeah, of course.
My eyeballs were on it.
Didn't have to.
But so it's interesting. It's a question of, will you make enough money? Because if it's let's say a rugby world's event, Canada versus New Zealand, and they pay for the streaming, if it's not being broadcast, a lot of those would be broadcast
Sure,
anyway.
if it's New Zealand, probably.
They can make all the money back and more on what the tournament costs. Right. But for those amateur events, if you kill 90% of your viewership, what's more important, to have eyeballs in an audience or to make a short-term benefit? So for the Canada Open, we were thinking about charging for online streaming, but the value isn't there. I'd rather have lots of people's eyeballs see it for free.
Sure.
And get excited like, oh, I want to be there next year.
Yeah. No,
I was also thinking the video should not be super professional. Because if it is, you go, well, man, they do these close-ups, they do the replays.
Right.
It's better than being there live.
Yeah.
Right? So let's
Yeah,
make
that's
it nice enough that you can watch it,
Yeah.
but not so nice.
That you can just sit at home and do it.
Yeah, like, okay,
Yeah.
so like professional sports, like football, you're going to go, yeah, like I could pay for the game, but man, I get the replays, I can sit on my couch,
Yeah.
I get close-up of the athletes, I can see the sweat, and all this high definition. So I was thinking, like, it should be good enough that you can sit and enjoy it and watch, little Johnny and little Susie and little Raj and all that sort of stuff. But it shouldn't be so amazing that, you go, wow, man, they overproduce it.
Yeah. Don't even have to go.
You don't have to go.
Yeah.
Right? I was thinking, like, yeah, it's more important to have eyeballs in an audience. And if you think about it, that goes for any karate club.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's more about getting a lot of people coming through your door. That's why I love doing birthday parties.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, what? You're in your 40s and you're still doing karate birthday parties for kids? But like, no, you don't understand. It's not about the short-term gain. It's a long-term gain.
Yes.
I'm going to give those kids a fantastic experience. And yeah, if we get one right away out of it, it's fine. It's more about the eyeballs.
Totally.
All right. Onwards.
All right, well, why don't we go on to a little bit of tactical. So again, we have a few segments that we haven't got to for a couple of weeks. So this week, let's talk a little bit about the tactical, and I know you have something on that.
Okay, so you have a gap in your training, right? And you want to improve it. You could be just traditional training, classical training in the dojo, right? And you think, man, how am I going to get there, right? So I think about this a lot because we have so many different levels that we're dealing with. So let's just take kata. You want to improve your kata and performance of it. Well, you can take to learn how to get it better, other than Isha Sensei going, go faster, go slower, move your foot, do this, do that, and you've got to remember it. The next stage now is you can videotape it. I think there's 3 things that will really help. 1, use the WKF rules for kata as a reference guide.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's great. Like if I was a kata coach, that's all I would use half the time when I want to give feedback. Is one, I would say, is it technical? Is it athletic? Is it conformity?
Yes, yeah.
Right? And if it's technical, for example, is it your transitions? If your transitions should be faster, right? Now you've got something to work on. you can go out there and work on it. So that was one. You need some sort of framework to be able to talk to somebody, and especially a lot of different people. Okay, here's the second one. We should not just use video of you shooting yourself and using Dartfish and there's all these other free apps, but find a video, whether you shoot someone you really like in your club or something online now with YouTube. Find a video, and then you have to use that as your reference guide. And now, on YouTube that you can slow it right down to
That's right.
0.25% speed.
Go nice and slow-mo.
You can slow-mo, and you can speed it up too.
Yeah.
As you know, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and so anything I need to burn through. It's really funny because now I'll listen to something in normal speed, and I'll go, man, they talk slow. And then sometimes I catch myself speaking faster because I've been listening to everything at really quick speed.
You listen to your podcast nice and fast, but at the same time, your brain also works really fast.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I read you an abstract of an article that I had to read, right? So back to the show. Use video to figure out your gap. This is where I want to be. This is where I'm at. How can I get there? Now I've got something to look at, right? And the next one is volume of practice.
Yes.
This is the number one thing I notice people don't do. Right? Practice and go practice until you're sick of it. One of the things I saw with the PC team and the people who were really top at katas, they were practicing a lot. Even when some of the people were stopping, they were going back out there and practicing. Or notice like, oh wow, like Toshi showed up. He didn't have to practice here, but he decided that this is a different venue. He's gonna be around us, start practicing, or Kenneth, or Rita, or whatever.
Talking about practice?
Yes.
You wouldn't get that reference.
What's that?
It's a basketball reference.
Basketball. That's with the ball, right?
That's with the ball. Yeah. Old interview, Allen Iverson. Talking about practice? We're talking about practice. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
It went over my head.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, volume of practice. I think I told you the thing about my friend Johnny when he came over to Vancouver.
Yes.
And I made him practice.
We just got to practice all the time.
Okay, so this is a framework. You use WKF rules, right? Get some video. This is after you get the feedback from your instructor. And the third is just, you got to practice more. Lots more volume. Did I ever tell you that once I was in the coaching course and it was all these different coaches from different stuff, and we had to each put a plan on the board of 4 weeks of practices, high performance training, Monday to Saturday. And so we wrote all these charts. And then the other coaches would then, from the other sports, would critique it based on what they understood about training and performance. I remember the swimming coach going up, and there's a whole pod of swimming coaches on one side of the room, and he just took his marker, and I can't remember which coach he picked, but all the sports and the martial arts, we kind of had the same amount of volume because we're reading the same scientific textbooks and stuff. So he walks up there and goes, okay, your 4 Mondays, he just circles it with a big marker. He goes, that's 1 Monday for us. We looked at him like, really? Like, really? He's like, yeah, because in the pool we can use so much volume, right? We don't have those heavy impacting against gravity.
Sure.
Right? So he just circled, he said, okay, basically the amount of actual time you guys are practicing in a whole month, that's our week. That's our 2 to 3 hours in the morning in the pool. That's our 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon.
No, it makes sense.
It was volume.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all you can do, right? Is just practice. It makes sense.
So then in terms of like actual, technical and tactical movement, you can work inside that. But anyway, those are my 3 things. Make sure you use them. You heard them here first.
Right? Karate 360 podcast.
That's right. So if you're complaining about why isn't my karate getting better, you're going to have to crack the nut.
Going to have to practice.
Right? Because, it's like someone says like, oh, I've been working really hard. Right? Like, yeah, what do you mean working hard? Well, look, I've been trying to find like new clients and stuff. Right? Well, how many clients did you call this week? How many new people? It's like 2.
Yeah.
Right? And the other one's like, and this is with Johnny, and hey, shout out to Johnny if he's listening to this. I remember once when he was complaining about getting a girlfriend. Did I ever tell you the story?
Right? Probably.
I think this totally relates to karate practice because, I remember him going, oh man, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm like, how many girls do you ask out for coffee today? None. Well, if you don't ask anybody out for coffee, how are you ever going to get a girlfriend?
That's right.
You got to go out and ask like 10.
It's all about the numbers.
It's all about the numbers. So, if the first 9 say no and the 10th one says yes, you're in the game. Plus, you're going to figure out by asking 9 how to actually ask someone properly by getting a lot of rejections.
Yeah.
Same thing with practicing in the dojo. Get in there and practice. I'm done. Richard out.
We should have a practice counter for every time you said practice in that little 10 minutes. Practice.
Then shoot.
Then shoot. There you go. All right, well, let's move on to a karate training tip that I wanted to bring you this week.
Hit me.
All right. So, As you guys know, I'm finishing off my master's in science and kinesiology. And as part of that, what we had to do is we had to do a physical demands analysis of karate. Uh-oh. Pause that. Hold that for 1 second. Hold that thought. I forgot I have to plug this in like right now.
While Caitlin is working on our technical equipment, happy to bring you guys who are listening live to some things that are coming up. We've got the Canada Open, as you know, and all the brochures online. But you're going, Richard, the registration says it's still not gone live. That's because we're still beta testing. Because the system we're putting in is we were actually ready on March 1st to actually take registration for Canada Open. And then somebody, and I'm not going to name who, thought, hey, what if you could load all your students into that thing and then you just have your club loaded up forever? Then if other tournaments come along or seminars, whatever, you can just pick. And they're like, hey, that's a really great idea, but that's going to take like a couple more days to figure out. And so it is going to go live. Actually, I just saw the email before the podcast here that I have to go do the second check of the beta test. So actually, that's something I need your help with.
I can help you.
And back to the show.
Back to the show, now that we have plugged in and have power. Okay, so yeah, so what we had to do for karate is we had to do a physical demands analysis. So you might be wondering, well, what exactly is a physical demands analysis? Basically, we just had to determine what physiologically is it that relates to kata and kumite, so we separated it performance. And we looked at many things. One of the things we looked at, I wanted to talk about, was heart rate. So this was kind of cool because what we did is we used heart rate variability to measure the heart rate during simulated performance of a kata, a couple katas, as well as some kumite matches. And what we found maybe isn't super surprising to people that are familiar with karate, but what we found was that kumite athletes, so again, we were looking at kumite versus kata. Kumite athletes spent most of their time in their performance at near maximal heart rates, so between about 90 and 100% of their maximum heart rate, and a little bit of time in the 80 to 90%. Whereas kata athletes actually spent most of their time between 70 and 80, and maybe 80 to 85 as well. So they weren't relying on as intense heart rate. So what does that mean when it comes to actually training? Well, another thing that we actually found was that kata athletes, when they use their muscles, so now we're talking outside the heart rate, using your muscles, they always go into a position, hold it, and then explode into the next stance.
I've seen that before.
You've probably seen it a few times, once or twice. Whereas kumite athletes, if you think about it, are different. They're usually bouncing, bounding, moving, and then exploding. So there's not really any static holding position. So again, how do we relate this to training? Well, basically what you want to do if you're a kata athlete is you want to train at those heart rate intensities between 70 and 85%, whether it's doing kata over and over and over again, or maybe it's just doing any other type of aerobic training, keeping your heart rate within that range for an extended period of time. And then when you're working your muscular system, you want to think about how kata performance works. You want to hold a position and then explode up into another one. A great way to do that, I think we've talked about this before, is doing like squat jumps or doing box jumps, where you get into a squat position, you hold it for maybe a second or two, and then you explode up either into a squat or you jump up onto a box. Then you come back down again, you hold it, and explode back up. But it's very important to get that holding position. Some of the things we get to do, our athletes here, our kata athletes, is we get them to jump, do long jumps across the room. And the same thing is we get them to go, hold it, stick that position, hold it, and then explode to the next long jump. Whereas if you're a kumite athlete, you go, boing, 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 kind of like, what is it, Tigger from Winnie the Pooh? You just kind of go boom, boom, boom as fast as you can, and you really try and, not to get too technical, you really try and use the stretch shortening cycle action, which is just that bounding movements in kumite. So when you're training, you want to try and think about that. And same with the heart rate for kumite athletes. You want to get to near maximal or super maximal, above maximal heart rates when you're training. So just a couple ways to kind of tailor your training, whether you're a kata athlete or kumite athlete at any level, really.
And in the dojo as well. And I think the stuff with kata is cool for people who are just training in the club.
Totally.
That's something they should know. Get a heart rate monitor on.
Yes.
And well, I guess in your KFIT thing, you can describe like what they should be looking for.
Totally. I'm big on heart rate. It's a great indicator of your aerobic fitness as well as where you're training at and where you should be training at. And absolutely anybody who trains with me will be wearing heart rates for sure.
What's an easy thing for someone to do right now is out there just what would be a really easy way to approach this just right now out of the box? They wanted to figure this out in 5 minutes and they're not going to chat with you. Like, let's just give them some value.
Sure.
So
I think you need to know one of the best ways to tell is what your resting heart rate is, and you can do that. You don't need a heart rate monitor to do that. You can do that as you're laying in bed trying to figure out how to do it on your wrist. People get their resting heart rate. There's actually some really good apps too that you can get on your phone where you literally just stick your finger over the camera and it'll take your heart rate, and they're pretty reliable actually.
Okay, so an app. This is because I'm making it simple in my head here.
Yeah.
So get an app, free app from the App Store.
Sure.
And I can check my heart rate.
Check your resting heart rate each morning before you get out of bed. So as you're laying in bed, check what your resting heart rate is. Do it for about a week and a half. Try and figure out where your normal resting heart rate is. And then as you start training, if you're starting to train more, we would expect your resting heart rate to go down. The lower your resting heart rate is, the more aerobically fit you are. And at the same time, if you know what your normal resting heart rate is, if you're training too much, because that is a thing, if you're overtrained or maybe you're getting sick, your resting heart rate will actually start to creep up and up and up. So you can look at that and you can see, okay, my heart rate's going up. Maybe I shouldn't train as hard today, or maybe I shouldn't train as much today, or maybe I shouldn't train at all today. I think resting heart rate, I mean, again, coming from a kinesiology background, heart rate is big, but I think it's a really simple, easy tool.
Get an app, check your resting heart rate for a few weeks. Then when you're going out and you're working out in the classical karate world of doing kata and that sort of stuff, how are you going to know? Would you just take the app and check where your heart rate is again?
Yeah,
and you want to be, you want to be like where 80% of max, or
sure, yeah. You want to know what your max is, and there's age predicted maximum. It's hard to tell what each individual's heart rate max is without actually measuring it. There is age predicted ones.
Because I think this is good, because then you could say to yourself, "Oh, I've been really practicing."
Totally.
A lot, but actually you haven't, because your heart rate didn't go up.
Totally.
You practiced 3 kata and your heart rate's still almost at a resting level, so you didn't explode enough, or you didn't move sharp enough.
Yeah. So this app that I have is called It's just called Heart Rate for Instant Heart Rate. That's what it's called.
Instant heart rate.
Instant heart rate, and literally it comes up. You don't have to. I don't think you have to put in any really information. I mean, I can do it right now. You place your finger in front of. Whoops. We have ads though.
Well, hence it's free.
Hence it's free. Yeah. And I don't know how to even get rid of this stupid app. But yeah. Anyways, you just put your finger over the heart rate, over your camera. You can get your heart rate, and you can go from there. So it's super simple, easy to do, and something that is easy to monitor your training status.
And so the end goal benefit is that you'll be healthier, you'll move faster, you'll perform better, and you look better too.
That's right.
That's right. Forget about those facelifts, everybody.
Don't do the facelifts. No.
Get out there and work out.
That's right. All right. So we have now come to the time in the show as we're starting to wrap up, where we want to look at the fan questions.
Yay!
Fan questions. So we have a couple questions that have come our way. The first one that came to us via text message was for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Richard, this is when we were talking about training and practice.
Yes, then shoot.
Richard, what is considered too much training for karate, in your opinion?
Ooh, too much training for karate. Well, I think it depends on the person. Too much training for karate. Well, it's going to be about age specific. So right now, does it say the person's age?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's just go in like volumes. 4 to 6 year olds, right? 2-3 times a week, at least an hour at a time, right? Maybe once to start out. 7 to 12 year olds. I think if they really want to improve, they should work up to 4 or 5 times a week for an hour and a half. Look at the karate tournament we had last weekend. The people who won the grand championship for the best kata and kumite results. Those are kids who come to the dojo 7 or 8 times a week while they do other stuff.
Sure.
But I mean, that's an extreme level, right? Yeah. For teens and adults. Now, here's the thing: is you have to always re-engineer it backwards. What's your goal?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So to know how much you're training, like what's your goal to come from? So if you have a goal of just performing better, obviously you have to increase your volume. If you want to, there's a thing I really like to think about. It's like, how greased are your joints because of what you're doing, right? Like how smooth, how natural is it?
How pliable.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for that word. Because the word that I had in my head was like a piece of machinery that's used so well, it's pliable. Yeah. Like, so at that point, then it really depends on what your goal is
Sure.
and how smooth you want to go
Yes,
it,
I agree.
right? So let's give some time. Let's give some times, right? Let's say you want to improve your kata, or you should be doing it after you're warmed up. I think, and we did this last night with some of the girls who are training. We did kata practice for 45 minutes, and maybe 15, 20 minutes was slow and technical, and then I pushed them for the last half to be high performance. Arakawa Sensei, what he would do is he will sit in a chair, and you'll go up and you'll do your kata at full performance, right? And then you'll stop, and he'll say, okay, these two things I want you to think about. You walk, take a 2 or 3 minute break, you come back, and you do full performance again. Because, what do we know is you have to train the way you would compete.
Absolutely.
So you have to train the way you would defend your life, or you have to train the way you would do a belt test. So you have to get up to that level.
And you can do that by monitoring your heart rate.
Wow, what a segue.
There we go.
All right, next question.
We have another question. This question is from Owen, very own Owen. He wants to know what would be your guys', so this is for both of us, favorite kata and why?
I'm glad you didn't say dessert.
No.
Favorite kata?
Favorite kata to perform.
Oh, I have a good one there, but you go ahead.
All right. Well, when I was competing, it was always a rohai, but I don't think that's my favorite. I think my favorite of all time is one that a couple of our competitive girls just learned, Seonchin.
Seonchin.
And I like it, and why? Because I like the slow and then fast exploding movements.
The moving zen.
So the moving zen, yes. I like the transitions. I like going from a slow, deep, good stance, rooted stance, slow, and then bam, fast into a big movement, and then into the next one. And that's what Seonchin's all about. So
that's a good from a fitness trainer.
Totally.
Like it's awesome because you can see if their legs are shaking or
lots of shigodashi.
And the thing about training, tonight about bounding and freezing and turning. Seonchin. Yeah, that's awesome.
For sure. But on that note, I forgot to even tell you this earlier. I had a dream last night. I had a dream that I was a kata champion.
Holy cow.
I don't know.
Is this a suppressed subconsciousness?
It must be.
Owen, you've cracked a level.
I know.
I woke up. We're going deeper now.
I woke up and I was like, man.
Do you need to lie down on the couch while we
do
hear
more kata?
Oh, really? Okay. That's good.
So there we go. Anyways, your turn. What is your favorite kata and why?
Okay, so the kata that I like to practice that's my style is Anan.
Anan, yeah.
I love Anan. I love the variety. I love the moving zen parts of it. I love the practical application of it. I love the fact that while it has flair, it is quite practical.
Yes.
Okay, so then in the Wado system that we are in, right? So I like Chinto.
Chinto.
Right? Chinto. That's right, exactly. I don't know if I told you this story. I'm sure I said it in the dojo, but I remember it was like 2008 World Championships. And so I did the kata, and then did I tell you there's a Japanese video crew that they ran up, or they were from Japan. They were videotaping for, I think it was for Champ, and they're like, Richard Sensei, that was really good. We loved your Chinto. That was awesome. It was textbook.
Oh yeah, you did
textbook. It was like just cookie cutter textbook, the way people are supposed to do Chinto, right? And I'm like, I was like, wow, I've been training this really seriously for several years, and that's great. Well, thank you very much. Hey, did you? Oh yeah, and then can we put it in the video?
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. If you guys make a video, go ahead. I'd be flattered, right? Go ahead. Oh wow, I'm so awesome. I said, did you see my seishan? Because in the Wado system, Chinto and seishan, or do you see my seishan? And they looked at me. Dead silence.
Yeah, your Chinto was very
good.
Your
Chinto was very good, right? So your Chinto was very good. So Owen, I think Chinto was it. And then most recently, doing a lot of kushanku.
Kushanku, yes.
Which I hated because it was long and laborious. But then I realized, actually, there's a way of doing it that's more efficient. And so I've been blasting through that. So Owen, awesome. Hey, what is your favorite kata? I want to hear about that next time.
There we go.
Are there any other questions? Because somebody wrote a comment on our YouTube page.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I wanted to reply to it. I think it's from last week. Because last week I had my hand taped.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
We had a couple people ask about that. Wondering if you were
Oh yeah,
making boards or what you were doing.
I forgot the login for YouTube, but you know it, so we should type this in. But anyway, it was Stephen Roberts 4 days ago said, Jack enjoyed the broadcast. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jack. That was last week. Wondered about your hand injury. This guy, it's all his fault.
That's what I do.
No, actually, it's not his fault. I have, over the years from punching wrong and being over aggressive, broken both my thumbs. And that's not normal for most people. I don't think you've broken your thumbs from punching.
No.
Yes. So every now and then they get a little sore and they start to pop out. So then I tape them up.
Okay.
And there's some exercises you can do to using elastic bands and
have very vigorous thumb wars.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Remember my kids
Thumb
love
training.
doing that with me.
Yeah.
Until it pops out and they go, ha ha, we got you. So you can see it's got a little bit of a bump on it.
Yeah.
But so actually what I'll do is I'll get like a rubber band and I'll just start pressing it back and forwards. And I actually feel it go back in and it gets stronger and I don't think about it for a while. So, but sometimes I have to tape it. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So that's why your fingers taped.
Yeah. And Jack Robertson, thank you very much for that question.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it here for episode 26 of the Karate
Holy cow,
360
episode
podcast.
26.
Just flying along here. So just so you guys know, like we've said before, we're going to keep doing these Facebook Live videos. I think we keep getting better, and we now have the nice camera.
Fantastic.
Hopefully our audio and our video synced up. We won't be able to tell that till after. But yeah, we're going to keep doing this. We do them Friday nights. We're going to aim for 9 o'clock every Friday night. We're going to be doing these
Pacific
live
Standard Time,
broadcasts.
by the way.
That's
time,
right. Pacific
clock
Standard Time.
rolls ahead an hour on Sunday.
That's right. So don't forget the clock rolls ahead on Sunday. And when we get to Monday and it's an hour ahead, don't forget our podcasts come out Monday morning. So
An
again,
hour ahead.
An hour ahead. Yes. What did I say?
An hour ahead.
Oh, there you go.
I know, just repeating.
Okay.
It's the poop emoji in the background on a Friday night.
That's right. So Friday nights, we'll be doing these Facebook Live. Tune into that. Ask us your questions live. We'll answer them. Monday morning, it'll become available. And you won't be able to see the Facebook Live video after we finish broadcasting on Friday nights. We're going to hide it, going to get rid of it. And then Monday morning, again, you can download the podcast on all the audio platforms, and you'll be able to see it on YouTube as well. For all the information, Karate360, follow us at karate360podcast.com, Karate360 on all the social media, and Richard Mosdell and Kaylin Anglos, we have our own stuff going on too. So just keep following us. We're posting on there quite regularly now, and we're off and
Updated
running.
my blog the other day. And boom, tons of
Fantastic.
stuff.
Yeah, so don't forget to go to that, Richard Mosdell's blog, as well as K-Fit Conditioning. That's coming your way too, so keep an eye on that. And this has been fun.
Excellent.
All right. Well, this is episode 26, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for asking your questions. And we will talk to you guys next week. Thanks. Bye for now.
Sanrokumaru.